So this mess is because I need some pillowcases and I know this one looks so bad. These are my materials today. I have to re-iron them. Look how bad that looks. It's like wonky too. This one's a little better. All of these are polyfill. This is a Polyfill Premier 12-inch. That's a bolster pillow, also considered Premier. That one is just basic. Look at that, it's just a pillow form full of polyfill. And they couldn't even break up the lumps. But if you ever need a travel pillow, my suggestion is my favorite one, unfortunately, is by the My Pillow company. It's a little smaller and a little wider than this, but you can put that in the wash machine and it's perfect. It comes out fluffier. You can put it in the dryer, whatever it's made out of. It's definitely not like a traditional pillow where you risk the life of the washer / dryer if you do it. So, but these guys, I like little pillows. I don't really sleep with a traditional pillow, though I have them on my bed. So that's what we're working on today. Yes, we're using the yucky one, but since the big iron has disappeared, I'm using the little one, but I don't have too much to iron, just those 2 scraps. Well, they are remnants. This is a remnant from Joann's. I think they're supposed to be, well, it's Asian inspired. And this came out of someone else's D-stash. I like that. And this one's adorable. So I'm gonna iron it out. Pillows are simple enough. You don't even, all you need is a dimension, 12-inch, and you just do 12-inch by 12-inch, giving yourself a seam allowance, and you pop that puppy on. It's supposed to be a little tight. That's why I advise selecting fabric. It should be cotton. Knit moves around, so unless you have a serger that's gonna make sure this thing doesn't, the case doesn't explode with the pillow coming out of it. Because I've actually done that where I sewed it with a traditional stitch but a very strong thread, and it still popped. So I say use cotton. Thread is simple, whatever you've got. If you have quilting cotton, go for that. Generally that's what I've got, but I think right now I've got a good polyester, so I'll be using that, but I don't know, depends on what I'm using. Oh, and if you need some free thread, leave a comment. I bought a lot of thread as Joann's was closing, and I gotta find places to donate it. I gotta find people who want some. I mean, as long as you're willing to pay for shipping, I guess, if it's a lot. But I might go take a tour of that, because that is just, those liquidators have quite the silver tongue. So let's just get on with this. I use plain water, little spritz. I don't put anything in the iron. I iron what I need, and I do as best as I can. I have, sampled the spray starch, but I have to order some. I used half of that bottle for ironing out all of that quilting cotton. And boy, is it tempting to keep using it, but a little bit of spritza, and this is bottled water. It's what I usually use for my bugs. Since I found out what our normal water does, since it's so hard, I'm better off with what I'm doing. Okay, we're gonna measure off what we need. I think this one, I'm gonna use it for both. I think I can easily cover 12. Kind of snugly. got, yeah, because this is 10. That's 10. Yeah. This is 13. So I can do a 12 by 12. Well, really it's a 13 by 13, and then actually I don't gotta worry about that end. Yeah, that'll work. Well, I'm gonna have to cut that anyways, because, well, you know, it's my pillow. It doesn't matter if they're, yes, it does matter. So 13 by 13, 1/2 inch seam allowance. That's what I'll do for this one. Nice and simple. I can use the salvage edge because it gets covered up. Yeah. First pillow down. I'm gonna change some layout, and I was gonna use this one, this ruler. Yep, it's the one I sat on. Still use it, but I forgot I acquired this monstrosity. Yes. Ooh. So it looks like my seam allowance is only going to be 1/4 of an inch. Okay, we can deal with that. If you're ever wondering about dressmaker shears, if you can get a light enough pair that are at least 9 inches, like on the side they go 8 inch, 9 inch. This is a 9 inch, I want to say. I don't do gingers because they're just super heavy. We're going to do a quick sew around. I'm not even going to pin it up. I should, but I'm not. Okay, digging through this. We're going to be using the variegated thread that we have tons of, because it's fine. Get that in there. Different foots. And we're going to reuse our 14 that we've been using. Still relatively new needle. I bless my lucky stars, I'm nearsighted. So I can still see that. Is my tension still off on this machine? Probably. Eventually I'll take it in to get it serviced or start up the new machine that I have. Apologies, this thing's gonna bounce like a maniac in a second. Let's see, that's 5, that's a 1/2 inch. So 1/4 is like right at the feed dogs. Okay, what I failed to mention is I'm also gonna zigzag just about everything. That's the opening I left. I'm going to try to be more responsible with my thread ends. Though this thing's got a lot of them. Because I don't want to vacuum that all. Let me do these ones first. Well, I should press it. Oh, you know what? I'm not. These ones are easiest. You don't want it unraveling, and I've got a pretty tight seam allowance. But again, this pillow is not going to get a whole lot of abuse. So we're going to set it to C all the way. We're going to set our stitch to the biggest I have, which is 4. Ooh. I'm going to do one side, then the other. Yeah, I should tie that off, but I'm not. This is a quick and dirty kind of pillowcase. I'm also making it permanent. Where's my other end? Oh, there it is. So my tension is perfect, actually, but I did wind it around that one. Okay, we can put this away for a little bit. Again, spray starch would be nice, but ooh. A lot of tension in my thread, and that's my own fault. But again, we want this quick. And also, it's best to iron anything that deals with cotton on cotton, because it kind of locks, from what I've heard, it expands and locks the thread into the material and to itself. Maybe that's just a myth, but I always do that. They do say you should iron out both sides. And yeah, it's wonky, but again, it's just for me. And I love the fact that all of my threads, my stitches came out really well. Oh, I gotta clip my corners. Yeah, I should have clipped them before I sewed it. Oh well. Before I guess you could say overlocked it. I don't know what the word is. And there's my opening. Oh, I'm making this more complicated than it needs to be. As long as you're careful, you can use your scissors as a, some people use a bone folder. Some people use a chopstick. The really good chopsticks are pointy at the end. Ugh. I will say, one sign of poor craftsmanship is leaving strings. So I try not to do that. Try. Yeah. Cheapers. You're gonna get a lot of strings, loose strings on your fabric just because you wash it and it makes a mess. In the olden days, I would zigzag before I washed. I mean, that's how I did it. Don't know how I found the time to do that. Yeah, wonky, but it works. Okay. Sometimes you can pin this. If it doesn't behave, you can pin it, then try to iron it. But it's really hard to iron if you got your pillow in it. Again, starch will take out all wrinkles, but we gotta save that. Okay, we can now free this guy from his, yeah. I can't, oh, there it is. This is the last one I find. That's, okay, I'm gonna turn this off because I don't want to burn myself. Or the table again. Burn the table, the carpet. Okay, this is gonna be traumatic for me and the pillow. Oh wait, the zipper's there, so I'm gonna do it this way. Well, I don't know. I just, since I'm gonna, was thinking the nicest way to sew this up is a ladder stitch by hand. But this is quick. This is supposed to be quick and painless. So we're gonna do it on the machine. And if you need to, you can always, you can put a button. What I do is, well, say you're making a duvet cover, but the duvet likes to not stay where it's supposed to. What I've done in the past is I take a button, two buttons, one to the other, put them together, and then I sew those corners together. Because the button helps you find that stitch again. And two, if something pops off, that means you popped that stitch. Just easier to find. And it's a bit of a decorative element. It also tells you when you've hit a corner when you're sleeping. There we go. Now I will use pins to hold that together while I sew it up. But so I'm gonna have one less crinkly thing on my bed now. So we're gonna see if I can do this without making too much of a mess. Nah, you're not gonna see it. So I'm gonna do it off camera. Okay, every which way, I just could not squeeze this guy on. So we're doing a ladder stitch. I like to come back a little. And if you wax your thread, it gets a little easier. Change my angle. A little easier to see what I'm doing. And really, you're just going back and forth along that iron seam. Don't make your ladder stitch too wide. Then you just pull through, but make sure to hold on to your thread so it doesn't get too weird. It's like you sewed it on the machine. So I'm gonna keep doing that till I'm done. I'll also do it beyond where it's stitched. Trying to get my knot to go inside. If you pull hard enough, it will. Ooh. Not sure what it did, but oh well. It's hidden enough. There we go. We have one good accomplishment for the day. Pillow. It's very cute. So let's see how much else we can get done today. Okay, so we're not gonna get to this guy because he's just too complex. He gets his own spotlight. But this is the wonky, I want to say it's 12 by 16. Messed up. But I'm making a traditional pillowcase for it. So I'm not even going to iron this stuff out. I folded really carefully so we can figure out what is square on this thing. At some point I'm going to get an overhead camera for this. This would be nice. But outside we're kind of stuck with what we got. So it's 12, so we'll go with, we'll straighten out one edge and then straighten out the other. I think that's what we're gonna do. Then we're gonna measure, so it's 12. So we're gonna measure, I don't know, half inch feels good. Let's just measure 13. So this will be the top. Oh, this is 12 and a half, isn't it? So measure a half on the top. So it ends up an even 13. That is essentially our pillowcase. We just got 2 ends. I mean, that's why I figured out lately when people are teaching, they teach with a pillowcase. So 1/2 inch, that and that. That goes 1/2 inch. This goes 1/2 inch. And then if you want, we can give it that much. It's all arbitrary. As long as there's an overhang and it's hard for the pillow to pop out. Some people, when you make it long enough, you could do 1/2 inch and then 2 inches. It's about 2 inches. But I feel like I want to go longer. I don't know. Maybe I will do that, 1/2 inch then 2 inches. Because this would be 44 folded. So it's 22 plus, let's see, yeah, 22. Pillowcases are so easy. The next step would be pajama bottoms for anyone wanting to try. So we're gonna go get our sewing machine. Okay, we're gonna stuff it with some Gutermann. I would say this is old, this is new. Both have never seen the light of day, but they're the same color and they're the same polyester. Gonna do the same with this one where I'm gonna wind it around one of the little pegs. And wind it around. I'm hoping it's the same stuff. I have no clue what it is, but we're gonna use it anyways, because that's the luck of the draw. It's 1/2 inch. Not even gonna pin it. Oh, I'm at 2, I think, maybe 2.5. I'll go 2.5. We got a 1. And even though I am, we should do a zigzag. We'll do this zigzag after. Yeah, now we'll do it. So we'll go with, on my machine is C, biggest stitch is 4. 4 just means zigzag. Okay, and we don't have to worry about these because these are actually down. You know, it's like you don't ever have to worry about that fraying because it's pretty much a sealed edge. I'm gonna iron this. And I've seen some pillowcases that are just, they're folded up and then pinned down. And they're just, you know, stitched right there and that's it. I've seen that. Am I a big fan of that? I don't think so. So, just move this a little. I should use some pins on this, but I'm not. I think 2 inches. 2 inches was a nice idea. I'm going to use the cutting mats. Actually, 3 inches would look really lovely, but I was going for 2. 2. Yeah, I'm going to get some pins. I'll be back. Oh, make sure that this goes the same way as that, so you don't end up with some weird bunching. Is that 2 inches? A little over. From there to there, that's good enough. Kind of like the way you would hem pants, I guess. 2. It's quite over. Is that good? That's good. Then iron out. I'm going to take this part out. Oh, and then we're going to switch back to straight stitch. We're going to put it back on, no, I think we'll 3 this time. We'll just do it whatever the distance is from here. I mean, it's supposed to be, I think, 1/4, but I don't think it is. Okay. Here's our wonky pillow. Mr. Wonky Pillow, meet Wonky Pillowcase, and hopefully you make each other happy. Okay, it looks a little better. Now let's cram our pillow into it. Okay, it's a little long. It is a little long, but that's okay. I can always tuck it in. I'm gonna tuck it in. Okay, tucked in. Not perfect, but I'm happy. It works. It's covered. But I think next time I'll make sure not to make it too long. But yeah, that worked. That worked fine. Yeah, I did pretty good. Colors are striking too. So thank you for joining me on this journey. And I've got 2 less naked pillows on my bed. I'll do that bolster, I think, the next time. But thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye.